Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Shravanam Diaries Podcast.
Reading Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge. This book is written by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and this is text 11. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stathaiva bhajam yaham mama vartmano vartante manushyah partha sarvashah. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Purport. Everyone is searching for Krishna in the different aspects of his manifestations. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is partially realized in his impersonal Brahmajyoti effulgence, and as the all-pervading Supersoul dwelling within everything, including the particles of atoms. But Krishna is fully realized only by his pure devotees. Consequently, Krishna is the object of everyone's realization, and thus anyone and everyone is satisfied according to one's desire to have him. This is very important. Everyone is satisfied. Imagine, everyone is satisfied according to one's desire to have him. So this verse actually, it just it builds one of the for me personally, it builds such a strong foundation of faith when Krishna himself says, as you surrender, I reward you. Meaning, as you surrender to the Lord, as much he will reciprocate. This is the ultimate verse of reciprocation. And it's always sweet to remind yourself, and also to, whenever we observe, it's something so personal. Sometimes we really forget. We constantly say, and Srila Prabhupada constantly says, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's a person. He reciprocates, and he's not just a person, he's the best person. He's an awesome person. I really like how Achyuta Gopi Mataji, she says, Supreme Bestie. You know? Jai. Okay, here. This purport gets better and better. Listen to this. So, consequently, Krishna is the object of everyone's realization, and thus anyone and everyone is satisfied according to one's desire to have him, right? In the transcendental world also, Krishna reciprocates with his pure devotee in the transcendental attitude, just as the devotee wants him. I don't know if you hear this, but our neighbors from upstairs, they have a very, very sincere, inspiring kirtan going on right now. So imagine, they're singing with such heartfelt emotions, and Krishna will reciprocate in the same intense, heartfelt emotions. Just thinking about this, just goosebumps, you know? Okay. So, one devotee may want Krishna as Supreme Master, another as his personal friend, another as his son, and still another as his lover. Krishna rewards all the devotees equally, according to their different intensities of love for him. In the material world, the same reciprocations of feelings are there, and they are equally exchanged by the Lord with the different types of worshippers. See, the same reciprocation of feelings are there, equally exchanged. No one is left out. Okay. The pure devotees both here and in the transcendental abode associate with him in person and are able to render personal service to the Lord, and thus derive transcendental bliss in his loving service. As for those who are impersonalists and who want to commit spiritual suicide by annihilating the individual existence of the living entity, Krishna helps also by absorbing them into his effulgence. Such impersonalists do not agree to accept the eternal, blissful personality of Godhead. Consequently, they cannot relish the bliss of transcendental personal service to the Lord, having extinguished their individuality. Some of them, who are not firmly situated even in the impersonal existence, return to this material field to exhibit their dormant desires for activities. They are not admitted into the spiritual planets, but they are again given a chance to act on the material planets. For those who are fruitive workers, the Lord awards the desired results of their prescribed duties as the Yageshvara, and those who are yogis seeking mystic powers are awarded such powers. In other words, everyone is dependent for success upon his mercy alone. And all kinds of spiritual processes are but different degrees of success on the same path. This is such a powerful statement. Everyone is dependent for success upon his mercy alone. Everyone, no matter what you want to do. This is such a deep topic also, even if you're not completely super theistic even, but you just want to have material success, you're still dependent on the Lord for that success. If you want the Lord, then he reciprocates. So, all kinds of spiritual processes are but different degrees of success on the same path. Same path. Unless, therefore, one comes to the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, all attempts remain imperfect. As it is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10. Akama sarvakamova mokshakama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Quote, whether one is without desire, in brackets the condition of a devotee, or is desirous of all fruitive results, or is after liberation, one should, with all efforts, try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness. So whether you don't have any desires, meaning you only desire to serve the Lord, akama, that's the condition of devotees, or sarvakama, kama means that desire, sarvakama, you want everything material, or mokshakama, you want to have nothing to do with this world, you just want liberation, nirvana, this whole thing. Whatever you want, you should with all efforts try to worship Krishna for complete perfection. Okay, text 12. Kankshantah karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devatah Kshipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. Purport. There is a great misconception about the gods or demigods of this material world. And men of less intelligence, although passing as great scholars, take these demigods to be various forms of the Supreme Lord. Actually, demigods are not the different forms of God, but they are God's different parts and parcels. God is one. God is one. And the parts and parcels are many. The Vedas say Nitya Nityanam. God is one. Ishvara Parama Krishna. The Supreme God is one. Krishna. And the demigods are delegated with powers to manage this material world. These demigods are all living entities, Nityanam, with different grades of material power. They cannot be equal to the Supreme God, Narayan, Vishnu, or Krishna. Anyone who thinks that God and the demigods are on the same level is called an atheist or Pashandi. Even the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva cannot be compared to the Supreme Lord. In fact, the Lord is worshipped by demigods such as Brahma and Shiva. Shiva Virinchi Nutam. Yet, curiously enough, there are many human leaders who are worshipped by foolish men under the misunderstanding of anthropomorphism or zoomorphism. Iha Devata denotes a powerful man or demigod of this material world. Iha Devata. So if someone is a powerful man or a demigod of this material world, you can't worship him as God. But Narayan, Vishnu, or Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, does not belong to this world. He is above, or transcendental to material creation. Even Shripad Shankaracharya, the leader of the impersonalists, maintains that Narayan, or Krishna, is beyond this material creation. However, foolish people, Hritagyana, worship the demigods because they want immediate results. They get the results, but do not know that results so obtained are temporary and are meant for less intelligent persons. The intelligent person is in Krishna consciousness and he has no need to worship the paltry demigods for some immediate temporary benefit. The demigods of this material world, as well as their worshippers, will vanish with the annihilation of this material world. The boons of the demigods are material and temporary. Both the material worlds and their inhabitants, including the demigods and their worshippers, are bubbles in the cosmic ocean. In this world, however, human society is mad after temporary things such as the material opulence of possessing land, family, and enjoyable paraphernalia. To achieve such temporary things, people worship the demigods or powerful men in human society. If a man gets some ministership in the government by worshipping a political leader, he considers that he has achieved a great boon. All of them are therefore kowtowing to the so-called leaders or big guns in order to achieve temporary boons. And they indeed achieve such things. Such foolish men are not interested in Krishna consciousness for the permanent solution to the hardships of material existence. They are after sense enjoyment. They're all after sense enjoyment. And to get a little facility for sense enjoyment, they are attracted to worshipping empowered living entities known as demigods. This verse indicates that people are rarely interested in Krishna consciousness. They are mostly interested in material enjoyment, and therefore they worship some powerful living entity. Okay. Interestingly, right, that in the previous verse, Krishna was saying that as all surrender unto him, he rewards them, meaning like he says that he reciprocates. And in the next verse, he says that, well, men of this world, they want success in fruitive activities and they want quick temporary results, so they just worship the demigods. Yeah. It's going a little further ahead, but later on in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam especially, we will see this perspective of Krishna, of how he is in our heart, he is observing us, he is with us throughout our journey in this material world, and he wants us to have a relationship with him, that loving, blissful relationship with him. And when it doesn't happen, he is upset. No matter what, he stays with us and he still arranges everything for us, even though we turn our back toward him, away from him. We turn our face away from him, we turn our back towards him. Okay, yeah, so, wow. And in Brihad Bhagavatamrita is described how Krishna is feeling so emotional when the devotee of his comes back from the material world, and they hug and they just there's so much loving affection exchange, and Krishna is explaining that I've been waiting for you for so long. It's very sweet. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in. Haribol. Thank you so much for tuning in today. The book links, previous episodes timeline, and biography of the author can be found on shravanamdiaries.com. The link is in the description, and we shall see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Krishna